I'm Whitney Neal, 30 years old, interior designer in Missoula, Montana. That night, dinner was supposed to be ordinary. Plates clinking. Mashed potatoes passed like ritual. My laugh still hung in the air, when glass hit wood like a gunshot. "Whitney, 2 days, get your stuff out." My dad's voice was steel. "This house belongs to your brother now." My fork froze midair. Colt hadn't set foot here in years. I had poured $60,000, my blood, my career, into keeping this place alive. Mom wouldn't meet my eyes. Dad leaned back, arms crossed, verdict final. The air tasted metallic like betrayal served cold. I didn't argue. Didn't beg. I nodded, already planning. They thought I'd vanish quietly. They thought wrong. Have you ever faced something like this? Tell me in the comments. They mistook my silence for surrender, and that was their first mistake. The next morning, I lay staring at that pale blue ceiling. The one I painted 3 years ago to calm the storms inside this house. Dad's words still echoed, sharp as broken glass. 2 days. Get out. How could they erase me so easily? I was 27 when the bank circled like vultures. Foreclosure letters stacked like tombstones on the kitchen table. My parents broke under the weight, their eyes hollow. Colt didn't answer his phone. "Busy," Mom whispered, like that excused everything. So I emptied my savings. 60,000. The down payment I'd dreamed of for my own place. Gone. Every dollar scraped from late-night freelance jobs. Every cent of my future. I handed it over to the bank, no hesitation. Because this house wasn't just walls. It was where I'd sketched my first designs on the living room floor. Where I grew up believing family meant safety. After the loan, I worked harder. Weekends lost to sanding floors. Late nights buying curtains, paint, furniture. I replaced the roof, fixed the porch, filled the rooms with color. A gray sofa for family movie nights. A new TV for Mom's cooking shows. A washing machine to save us trips to the laundromat. Piece by piece, I rebuilt their pride. Piece by piece, I thought I was rebuilding us. But gratitude has a short shelf life here. Soon it was back to Colt. His calls from New York, full of empty swagger. My parents' eyes lit up every time he spoke. Neighbors heard about his success, while I was the one scrubbing the counters I paid to replace. Do you know what it feels like? To hold a family together while they brag about someone else? To be invisible in the home you saved? I swallowed it then. Silent. Patient. Believing one day they'd see me. Instead, they chose him. Over and over again. And now they're handing him the house, the one I already gave everything to save. The day after, I called Lindsay, my best friend. Sharp mind, sharper instincts. A lawyer who always hears what I don't say. Her voice cut through my shaking. "Whitney, something doesn't add up. If they're giving Colt the house, there's a reason. Check the finances. Check if your name's anywhere it shouldn't be." Her words lodged in my chest. Finances. My parents always hid money behind closed doors. I'd been too busy paying their debts to ask questions. I dialed Finn Walsh, a bank manager I once designed an office for. He owed me a favor. "Finn, I need the truth," I said. "Check everything under my name." Accounts, loans, anything. An hour crawled by like wet cement. I made a list of everything I owned here. The gray sofa. The flat screen. The washer. The chandelier. Every piece paid for with my blood. Ownership turned into sticky notes on my desk. Then Finn called back. His tone was already an apology. "Whitney, I found something." "A loan." 60,000. Taken out 6 months ago. Your parents and Colt listed as co-borrowers. But you're the primary. My breath stalled. Primary. Like I volunteered. Like I signed. Except I didn't. He emailed the scan. I opened it, hands trembling. My name stared back at me. So did a forged signature. The W too sharp. The L chopped short. Sloppy. But close enough to fool a bank. Identity theft. Not just betrayal. A crime. I forwarded it to Lindsay. She called instantly, fire in her voice. This is fraud. You can fight this. But we need more proof. Check the house. Paperwork. Statements. Anything. So I climbed into the attic. Dust floated like tiny verdicts. Boxes groaned with years of secrets. I dug until my hands burned. Receipts, old bills, yellowing tax forms. Then, a folder unmarked, buried under junk. Inside, bank letters. Overdue notices. Another copy of the loan agreement. Same fake signature. Same knife to my chest. It all snapped together. 6 months ago, Colt slunk back to Montana. His New York empire collapsed. He needed cash. They needed hope. So they used me. Again. I sat on the attic floor. Papers scattered like broken trust. Mom's silence at dinner. Dad's steel voice. Colt's smug grin. All of it made sense now. I gathered everything, stuffed it into my bag. Resolve replaced panic. This wasn't just their betrayal. It was my evidence. By noon, I had a plan. I wasn't leaving empty-handed. I wasn't leaving powerless. They thought I'd fold quietly. Instead, I'd weaponize their secrets and make every forgery bleed truth. By afternoon, the movers arrived. 3 men in navy uniforms, a truck humming in the driveway. I walked them through the house, pointing at the tagged items. Take the sofa. The TV. The washer. The curtains. All mine. Piece by piece, the life I'd built was carried out the door. The walls looked naked. But I didn't feel hollow. I felt sharp. Like a blade being drawn. By 4 o'clock, silence echoed through the rooms. No laughter. No comfort. Just bare walls and truth. That's when the front door slammed. Colt stumbled in, suitcase thudding hard against the floorboards. His tie was loose, his face flushed with rage. "What the hell did you do?" he barked. His eyes swept the stripped living room. "This is my house now." "Where's the furniture?" I crossed my arms, steady. "Gone." I took what I bought. What I earned. His laugh was sharp, mocking. "You don't get to decide that." "Dad said this house is mine." "You're supposed to be gone." I pulled the loan agreement from my bag, holding it high. "I know about the 60,000, Colt. The loan with my name. The forged signature. Your fingerprints all over it." For a second, his smirk faltered. But then he leaned closer, venom dripping. "You're pathetic, Whitney. Always playing the victim. Mom and Dad know who really matters, me." His words sliced deep, but I didn't flinch. "If I'm so pathetic, why use my name? Why forge my signature? Why crawl back here after New York chewed you up?" His jaw twitched. He grabbed his phone, dialing fast. "Dad, she's emptying the house. Everything's gone." His voice cracked with desperation. Before I could answer, the doorbell rang. Henry King, our neighbor, stepped inside. Flannel shirt, steady eyes. "What's going on here?" Colt sneered. "None of your business, old man." Henry didn't blink. "It is when I see someone bullied. Whitney's done everything for this place. We've all seen it." Colt's face reddened. "You'll regret this, Whitney," he spat. "Dad's furious." "You're finished." I held the loan papers higher. "No, Colt. You will regret it. Because tomorrow, I'm filing a lawsuit. Identity theft. Fraud. Forgery. You can explain all this to a judge. The confidence drained from his eyes. For once, Colt had no script. He grabbed his suitcase, muttering curses, and stormed out. The door rattled behind him, leaving silence thicker than smoke. Henry's hand landed on my shoulder. "You did the right thing," he said softly. And for the first time in years, I believed it. The betrayal wasn't just exposed. It was documented, undeniable, and finally mine to fight with. That night, I spread the documents across Lindsay's kitchen table. The forged signatures stared back at me like a scar. Lindsay typed furiously, piecing evidence into a weapon. Identity theft. Financial fraud. We'll void the loan. Protect your credit. Seek damages, she said. Her calm voice was a blade. By midnight, the complaint was finished. 20 pages of betrayal inked in legal terms. I signed my name, my real name, steady, unshaken. Tomorrow, the courthouse would hear the truth. Morning came cold and sharp. We filed at Missoula County Courthouse. The clerk's stamp thudded heavy final. The lawsuit was real. And so was my resolve. Within days, my parents and Colt were served. I pictured their faces as papers landed on the table. Not hugs this time, subpoenas. The calls began immediately. Mom's voicemail cracked. "Whitney, how could you do this to us? We're your family." Dad's tone was fire. "You ruined us." "Ungrateful girl," Colt spat venom. "You'll regret this. You're nothing without us." Each word hit like glass. But glass cuts only once. Then you bleed, then you heal. I blocked them all. Boundaries are doors you lock yourself. News traveled fast in Missoula. Neighbors knew. Diane brought me coffee at the office. "Everyone's talking," she said. "They know what they did to you. They're the ones who should be ashamed." Weeks blurred into depositions. Diane swore under oath. Finn confirmed the forged loan. Receipts lined up like soldiers. Sofa, washer, chandelier. Every dollar I spent was now ammunition. Court arrived with spring. A small wood-paneled room, thick with tension. My parents avoided my eyes. Colt twitched in his chair, stripped of swagger. Their lawyer mumbled excuses. Lindsay cut them apart with facts. The judge leaned forward, voice flat steel. Loan voided. My name cleared. Damages awarded. Court fees on them. The house tied to unpaid debt to be sold. I didn't celebrate. I just breathed. For the first time in years, breathing didn't hurt. Outside, Lindsay touched my arm. "You won." "They can't touch you now," I nodded. Victory felt different. Not sweet. Not bitter. Just clean. Like finally washing off years of grime. My parents lost their fortress. Colt lost his mask. And I found my spine. They tried to erase me. Instead, I erased their power and took back my name. Weeks passed. The house was gone. Auctioned to cover the rot they hid. Not mine anymore. Not theirs either. Missoula carried the story like winter wind. Whispers in grocery aisles and parking lots. Pity for me? No. Clarity for them. My parents squeezed into a cramped apartment. Colt sold cars with a chewed smile. Pride shrank to fit cheaper light bulbs. Consequences found their address. The phone kept buzzing. Voicemails full of guilt, then blame. Family is forgiveness, Mom insisted. Ungrateful, Dad snapped. You'll regret this, Colt hissed. I saved them as evidence, then deleted. Block, breathe, keep moving. Meanwhile, my life unclenched. A new apartment near the Clark Fork River. Sun flooding the gray sofa I rescued. Navy curtains lifting like lungs. The washer humming a small anthem. Every object a boundary I kept. Work bloomed. Cafes and lobbies drawn in forgiving light. Clients paid on time and thanked me. I remembered how appreciation sounds. Sometimes I walked past the old street. The house stood there, finally quiet. I didn't stop. Closure isn't in shingles and siding. It's in choosing yourself twice a day. What did I learn? Loyalty without limits is surrender. Help becomes theft when consent disappears. Silence breeds thieves. Naming ends it. Forgiveness? It's a room I'll paint later. For me, not for permission. Healing doesn't negotiate. Have you ever faced something like this? Tell me in the comments. If you've been through this, you're not alone. I am Whitney Neal. Not a forged line on a loan. Not a daughter for rent. I am a woman with receipts and a spine. I lock doors. I open better ones. I build rooms that don't require begging to stay. I stand unborrowed. This is my life now. Designed deliberately. Paid in full. Signed by me. Dated today and every morning after. They tried to author my ending, so I learned to write beginnings.